Everybody, welcome to another fabulous episode of My Horror. I'm your beloved host, Andrew Tibbs. I guess I should do a sign. I don't have a theme song yet, so give me some time on that. There we go. And then last time I said, don't subscribe, or I was making fun of people who did say subscribe. Well, now that I actually have this on YouTube, I'm going to retract my own words and say, just subscribe right here. Or here, I have no idea where the freak it is. Just, wherever you guys can read, hopefully. So go ahead and subscribe to this, and we'll go ahead and have some fun. I am on the second film in my list of 15 movies I'd never seen before. Horror films I'd never seen before. The first one was The Devil's Rain. I don't know if anyone's been able to pick that up or watch it or anything, but, you have my recommendation on that one. It's a trippy one. And someone actually mentioned earlier that I should probably, say where, you guys can get some of these movies. I haven't checked too hard. I heard from a podcast I listened to called Test Pattern. They mentioned that you can watch it on Stars, but I just went ahead and bought the Blu-ray on Amazon because they mentioned that it was really good. So, and actually, it's from the list on Test Pattern that I'm actually getting some of these, different movie titles that I'm going to try to watch because they watch a lot of movies, and I'm like, I got to keep up on watching some of those. And when they talk about them, it's really awesome. So I say go ahead and check those guys out. So this next film that I was going to watch, it's based off of a short that was made by Damien, there you go, a creepy child name, Damien Leone, from 2011. It's based off of a short that was then turned into a horror anthology, which you want to put me in the right mood. You want to, not only will a scented candle get me in the right mood, but watching a horror anthology will definitely set the mood, so get it started. But it was All Hallows Eve was a horror anthology that the guy had made, and The Terrifier, which is the film that I'm going to talk about now, I don't know if I mentioned that or not, Terrifier was an offshoot of that anthology. So it is about a clown named Art, and he terrorizes 3 girls on Halloween. Just a straightforward, evil-looking clown terrorizing a few girls who, decided to make some stupid decisions on Halloween night. Not to mention share a few cocktails, so they should have known better on that one. But let's go ahead and get started on this movie. It was directed, like I said, by Damien Leone. Sorry, I'm going to get a picture right here. And it stars David Howard Thornton as the clown Art. And it also has, I forgot what the 3 girls' real names are, but the girls are Tara, Dawn, and Vicky. And boy, do these poor souls have it coming. I wanted to go ahead and show you guys a picture of this clown because it is insane. I mean, I thought Bill Skarsgård, or, one of the Skarsgårds, is like 100,000 of those guys, but I thought he did really good as Pennywise in the new It movie, and, I will stand by that to my dying breath. Maybe. But this actor, David Howard Thornton, he plays a very creepy clown. Go ahead and get a look at this guy. I'm going to try not to have a glare, so look at that. Holy crap. Would you look at that? How insane does that guy look? Like, if I look at it too long, I'm afraid that he's going to start blinking at me, and then I won't be able to sleep, and I'm going to want to cuddle really close with my wife at night because I'll be too scared, but, then it's 1,000 degrees, and I'll have to back away a few feet, so this clown isn't doing it for me. So yeah, really, really creepy guy. So the story follows, in this movie, it follows these 2 girls, Tara and Dawn, and it's Halloween night. They've clearly went to a lot of parties, and they're deciding that they want to go to a restaurant before they head home, just to kind of, get rid of the buzz that they got from drinking all those beers. When they get there, they run into this clown. They don't know what his name is. He's not talking. He's just doing, nonverbal communication with them, or just staring at them, really creepily, like they're pieces of meat that he's gonna do stuff. And so, but basically this guy is just, he's giving Tara the creeps. You know, Tara doesn't know what to do. She wants to get out of the restaurant. She wants to avoid him at all costs. Meanwhile, her friend Dawn is the very ditzy girl who just wants to have fun. So she decides to go sit on his lap, take a few selfies with him, which, you know, by the way, stupidest idea ever. So, but, you know, she got it coming, right? And when they leave the restaurant, well, actually, before they leave the restaurant, Art the clown, he ends up going to the bathroom at the pizza joint, and he gets kicked out himself because the two owners find out that he's rubbed his own feces. We've all been there, all over the walls of the bathroom, and clearly that's, you know, that's not good, not normal behavior. But they kicked him out, and, you know, threatened him, you know, to never come back. A little while later, the girls end up leaving, and they find out that two of their tires are flat on the car. And so Tara decides to call her sister, Vicky, to come and pick them up. Oh yeah, and if I haven't told you guys I'm going to spoil this movie, I'm spoiling it, so... But I'll try not to give away the absolute ending, so there's still somewhat of a surprise for you. But so Vicky is going to eventually come and help out the sister and her friend, you know, either change their tires or, you know, take them home. But Tara has to go inside the warehouse that's clearly next door. You know, I don't know how they picked this pizza joint that's parked in the creepiest of neighborhoods, but, you know, they did, and holy crap. But she went in to go use the restroom at this warehouse, classic. And when she's in there, that's when crap goes down. Art starts terrorizing them, starts going after them. It's some of the craziest kills that I've ever seen in a movie. Like, some of these, and they were very unexpected. I didn't expect this movie to be as crazy as it was. You know, you scroll through some of these films on Netflix, and they're either very terrible, or they're not scary enough, or, you know, they're just really trashy. But this one, I just clicked on, I'm like, this will be a good morning watch. And man, it was trippy. Before I go to work every day, one of the only times I get to actually watch horror films, because I try to be a good dad and not watch them with my kids during the day, is I take 30 minutes every morning to just watch something that I would like. But I forgot on the specific morning that my wife babysits one of our neighbor's kids, you know, before she has to take her to the bus for school every morning. And so I was watching Terrifier, and there was this kill where, by the way, Art, he revisits the two guys who own the pizza place, and he kills them in the most brutal ways. He gets this knife, and he just kind of goes Alfred Hitchcock Psycho on this guy's face, and there is blood everywhere. I would even compare that to the finale scene in the fourth Evil Dead movie. Like, it's pretty crazy. And so I heard I heard this girl run up the steps, you know, and I'm trying not to let anyone view this stuff, but I heard her running up the steps, and I'm like, crap, like, drop the remote, and she was about to watch all this very nasty stuff. I can already feel that her dad was going to get mad at me, but luckily I picked it up just in time to, you know, turn on Supergirl instead of, you know, Terrifier, so, you know, thanks for saving me on that one. But no, this movie gets really crazy. So like I said before I went off on a tangent, Tara and Dawn, they both get, you know, terrorized in very violent ways. He ends up taking Dawn and basically saws her in half with like just a handsaw, and it is, poor girl. And then Tara ends up, you know, getting it pretty bad as well. Like, she got shot in the face like 9 times, and that's before Vicky finally decides to show up, you know, Fabulous Vicky. And she also gets hurt pretty bad. She gets whacked by this, seems to be like homemade cat o' nine tails. I think that's what the weapon's called, but he whips her with it and everything, and it is just, basically, I have a hard time finding much of a point to this movie unless you just like, you know, insane gore, which I'll confess, sometimes I really, really love that, but this time it just seemed a little, you know what you're watching from the get-go. This is a slasher movie, but with no real point. And so, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna finish it off from there. You can actually see what happens to Vicky, but she ends up being the final girl of sorts, and so yeah, she ends up being the final girl, and hey, you're just gonna have to see what happens to her. I wanted to go ahead and point out the guy who plays Art. I think it's a different guy that plays Art in this movie than Art the Clown that was portrayed in All Hallows Eve. It was the same makeup and everything, but it was a different actor. And actually, David Howard Thornton, the actor this time around, apparently he used to be a mime, and which really, it benefited his character a lot, because the fact that you never hear him speak, you see him do all these empty laughs and all these creepy, grins and smiles and, like mime in the box stuff. Like, it is extremely creepy, and he does an awesome job. I think that's basically all the information I have on that. It's a solid movie, and I will point out also that the practical effects, although not up to at the same level as like The Devil's Reign, because if you see some of that stuff, it is hairy, but the practical effects in this one, like some of the kills, as gross as they can be, like, you have to tip your hat to the filmmakers who made this, because they clearly wanted to make them look real and gross, and well, they succeeded. And so this is the second movie that I went ahead and looked at. I'm not sure what's going to come up next. I think I'm going to watch The Sentinel, which was another pick that was on the Test Pattern podcast at one point, so I'm going to go give that one a look at. And yeah, if there are any other films other than the 15 that I've picked, or if you guys have any other films you'd like to throw my way for me to have a look at, go ahead and tell me. And happy hunting, everyone. Peace. See ya.